And we start with what could be a general election bombshell for Rishi Sunak, because GB News can exclusively reveal that as many as 6 Tory candidates, including one who is an MP in the last Parliament, are on the verge of defecting to Reform UK. And it follows Nigel Farage's announcement yesterday that he would, after all, stand for Parliament as well as leading the Reform Party. And let's get straight into this story now with GB News' political editor, Christopher Hope. Chris, this is another sensational exclusive from you. The last thing Rishi Sunak wants to hear ahead of tonight's live TV debate. Tell us more.
Yes, it's further a recognition of what happened yesterday, Martin, and good afternoon here from Salford in Manchester, where we're getting ready for this head-to-head debate between Sir Keir Starmer and Rishi Sunak. Now, yesterday, Nigel Farage declared himself as leader of Reform UK, replacing Richard Tice, and a candidate at the Clacton seat in July the 4th's general election. That's what's happened, and the reaction from some Tories has been one of alarm. I'm hearing, I know of at least one former MP who's looking to maybe jump across to Reform UK in the next few days, and maybe 5 more candidates, Tory candidates, who may go for Reform. They're worried that this party is being reshaped in more moderate lines. They're seeing lots of what they would describe as moderate spads being dropped into safe seats, special advisors, right-wingers being pushed out. They wonder what's going to happen next, if this will be a realignment of right-wing politics, if there is this big landslide for the Labour Party, as the polls suggest. So the deadline is 4 p.m. on Friday. That's the deadline for all nominations to be submitted everywhere across the country. So the next 72 hours will be crucial for some Tory candidates. Do they want to jump across to Reform UK and join Nigel Farage's attempt to reshape the right of politics, or stick with Rishi Sunak despite the fact he's falling so far behind in the polls? And that takes me on to tonight's debates. It really is important for both candidates, for Rishi Sunak to try and impress on people he is presidential, he's not the schoolboy, he's the headmaster, he's got authority, he can keep this country safe, he can guide this country through a very difficult back end of this decade. And Sir Keir Starmer, of course, the Labour leader, he needs to impress on people that rather than always picking holes in the Prime Minister's performance at Prime Minister's Questions on PMQs Live on GB News each week, he's got to show why he's got the answer to the problems facing this country. So both candidates face big issues, but on Rishi Sunak, the people I'm speaking to are saying he's got to do a good job tonight to try and ensure that his candidate slate is not whittled down by Friday.
And Chris, of course, you cannot reveal your sources. We can't mention any names, but in broad terms, these 6 candidates here, are there recognisable names in there, household names, sitting current Conservatives that we would know?
Yeah, at least one of them is, Martin. One of them said to me they feel very disillusioned with everything at the moment. They don't understand that's the centre, don't understand the impact that the return of Farage is going to have. I think what that means is we're looking probably at some difficult polling at this weekend. If as I suspect, the Reform numbers could go up because people will be drawn towards Farage and his magnetism. Personally, I think they see him as a solution to all of the politicians being a problem for a lot of voters at the moment. He's almost none of the above candidate, a free hit on the body politic. The problem that the main parties have is what will the impact be on actual MPs? No one expects Reform to get any more than maybe 0 MPs is what the polling forecast, but maybe 1 in Clacton if Farage can defy the polls and win there. But what does it mean to the other parties? Now, Farage thinks he can take some support from Labour, but really it's a Tory problem because the party has got this battle with itself and the right going back to the Brexit days. It's yet to resolve.
And Chris, a fascinating line in your exclusive story for GB News is some dissatisfaction being talked about around some of the Tory wets, as they would be called, getting safe seats at a meeting yesterday. So a lot of Red Wall MPs, Red Wall candidates feeling that they're going to lose their seats having done nothing wrong, and seeing people who remain as a rump of a more liberal end of the Conservative Party being gifted safe seats. There's division within the Conservative ranks on that particular point, Chris.
Yeah, I don't want to be too... It's quite detailed, this, for viewers, but basically when you call the general election and there are empty seats and sitting MPs retire suddenly, as we've seen in recent weeks as MPs, that gives the power to the centre to impose a shortlist of 3, and some local candidates can put their names forward too, but it does give the centre of the party the chance to drop in favoured special advisors, favoured aides into safe seats, and that's what's really getting the goat of a lot of red wall Tory MPs. They see people, advisors to Rishi Sunak and other senior ministers getting key seats in the south of England, and they're worried about the future of the party. If it's going to be this kind of moderate Tory future, then the right is being pushed out even further. It's more grist the mill of Nigel Farage. Paul Goodman, who is a Tory peer, he estimates that 10 of the 46 candidates selected recently by Central Office Number 10 are special advisors. So there's a feeling that lots of professional people involved in politics are getting safe seats in the next Parliament. And what does that mean going forward for the rump of the Tory party if these difficult polls come to pass on July the 4th?
Starmer has been accused of a similar thing, giving safe seats to his advisors, Rachel Reeves' advisors, and decommissioning, as it were, the Labour left. So it's not unique to the Conservative Party. Chris Hope,
both
excellent.
Sides, Martin.
Yeah, Chris Hope, excellent exclusive, and we'll join you throughout the rest of the show as we build up towards tonight's Leaders' Debate. Thank you very much, Chris Hope.